For decades, the African diaspora has enriched the social, economic, and cultural environment of cities and communities across the United States and around the world. African immigration to the United States has roughly doubled in every decade since 1970. Most come from the more populated African nations of Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Egypt, followed by South Africa, Ghana, and Kenya. According to the last U.S. Census, there were 3.3 million members of the sub-Saharan African diaspora living in the United States in 2015. Those numbers are steadily growing. A great many refugees find a welcoming home in America, eventually earning enough money to help their less fortunate relatives back home. On a single day in the Washington, D.C. area, I encountered Africans from Ethiopia, Congo, Uganda, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Sudan, and more. They're part of an immigrant population enriching our diverse society in countless ways. The metropolitan areas of Washington, New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta, Georgia attract the greatest numbers of African immigrants. Most are skilled professionals reuniting with relatives, but many new arrivals to the United States are refugees from conflict-torn countries. 41% of America's African-born residents have at least one college degree, making them, as a group, among the best-educated immigrant populations in the United States. Historically, Marcus Garvey, George Padmore, W.E.B. Du Bois are among the founding giants contributing to the liberation of blacks. Marcus Garvey was a determined activist in support of Pan-Africanism. In the late 19th century, he advocated for the creation of a common state in Africa, welcoming back all African Americans. W.E.B. Du Bois claimed full rights for Africans on the continent and in African communities worldwide. African self-determination, along with the activism of George Padmore and others, fueled the struggle for independence from colonialism, as well as the unification of African diasporas with the people of Africa. Thousands more have followed in the footsteps of Garvey, Du Bois, and Padmore, and those of Kwame Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere, furthering the pursuits of freedom, equality, and justice for all. Today, many political observers say that activism and Pan-Africanism have become more of a philosophy than a movement, and that Africans and the diaspora need to reevaluate their Pan-Africanism roots. Paul Sisco, VOA News, Washington.